societies around them. When you come to, so you can say Ethiopia has run a very successful airline because they have hired professionals and the government has kept politics out of it. Emirates has done the same thing. You may wish to know that the British Airways was at its best when it was owned by the government of the United Kingdom. So governments can run businesses and can run them very well. But in the specific context of the government of Uganda and its politics, I would not advise them to own an airline. Why? And in that article of 2019, I gave conditions in which Uganda can run an independent airline. Me, I don't give theoretical answers, I give practical ones. So if Uganda was to be serious about an airline, and as the minister, my great-grandson, Chris said, it needs to enjoy a high degree of independence from two things. One, from Uganda's democratic politics. You see, if you are going to listen to the voice of every disgruntled citizen on the street, you cannot manage a business. So you need to insulate a business like that from popular pressures. It is not true. Museveni says Muhoozi can by the CEO. Now, if Muhoozi is there, who will come and say, try to push him to do anything? So there the airline is, and unless he is incapable of running it, at least we know that no one can push him. Or maybe you get Edwin Karujiri, or Drake Wabogo, or Natasha Karujiri. I personally believe that those people who are his family members, who can easily reach him. Everybody else, I can tell you, they will kick you around and you'll be out. So that is one. The other solution to manage it effectively is to hire white people. And I'm very keen on this. I said it in the last show. Because I can tell you, if you went to the Emirates, the guy, the president of Emirates has retired. The old man. What was his name?
Wake.
No. The president, you know, the CEO is the rule of Dubai, but the president of the airline was a white man from Britain. The managing director would say yes. He recently retired. He's been there since its creation in 1985 or something, or 1995. But you need to get white people who are highly experienced and above board. You bring them on top dollar and say the top management positions are given to them, 4 positions on the board. Ugandan, you know our cultural attitudes. No Ugandan is going to go to a white man and say, hire my wife, hire my daughter, give me a contract, those things. They will be kicked away. So if they can, and they do not need to know too much of our local politics. Please remember that New Vision became the most successful government-run newspaper or media company in the whole of Africa. Why? The founding managing director, William Peck, was white. No, very few Ugandans will go there to ask him for these favors because they don't live in the same cultural context as him. They're not bulldozing him around. Short of that, I don't see what Uganda can do to create an airline that is insulated. Now, let me give Museveni credit. You look at our oil sector. Museveni did 3 things that made Uganda have a very good policy environment for oil and very well negotiated production sharing agreements. I do not know whether you guys follow the Ugandan oil sector. Oil it leads to a lot of corruption. Museveni did 3 things. First, he ensured in the initial, what they call exploration phase, the creation or the cultivation of a highly competent technical team at the Ministry of Energy, led by Fred Kalisa Kabagambe, with Ernest Rubondo. There was this man, Kateshumbwa. No. He wrote a book. Okay, but there is Kasande and others. They were highly technically competent. That is point number 1. Second, that Museveni did, he gave them protection. There is nobody in Uganda that I know who could go and make statements that influence the oil sector. No. Now, the third thing, and I think it's a consequence of the first 2, because they were directly answerable to him, he listened to them. It did not matter whether they were Janet Museveni or Salim Saleh or Andrew Mwenda or Chris Baryomusi. You could never go and have a say. He listened to the technical experts on oil. Shut his ears to everybody else. And because he gave them that degree of autonomy to work professionally, they developed a high level of self-confidence to pursue, to negotiate these oil production sharing agreements competently. And as a consequence of these first 2, they were incorruptible. You may wish to know that in the international oil market, the average share of government to international oil companies' revenue is always, they say, 40 in favor of the government, 60 in favor of oil companies. In Uganda, it is 78% in favor of the government. We negotiated the best production sharing agreements in the world or in Africa precisely because of that. So if you want to get Uganda Airlines to work, it would require Museveni to consider it the most important strategic asset Uganda has. He puts a team there, they may be Ugandans, but he would need to insulate them to ensure that nobody can go there and push anything. Now, the problem with Uganda is you are put as MD, then somebody goes and gets a rumor, takes to the president. ISO takes a report. The media make and then you begin listening to parliamentarians grandstanding and making noise. People on social media are also speaking. You listen to too much contradictory information, and you end up making bad decisions, and the people internally fear. Now, the final part. The mistake Museveni made with Uganda Airlines, initially, Uganda Airlines started well, was to hire a lady called Jennifer Bamturaki. I have never met her. In which case, I may be unfair to her because it's important for me to meet her and listen to her side of the story. But I am intrigued as a person involved in political commentary that practically every employee of that airline calls me, contacts me. I think when pilots, workers, managers, everybody complains about her. I do not know how that can be possible because there are so many organizations. There is NSSF, there is the National Water and Sewage Corporation. What are the other organizations in Uganda run by the government of Uganda? Pearl Bank, Pride Microfinance, now it's going to become a bank. Uganda government has actually, you have Housing Finance Company Limited. Uganda government owns businesses that are run professionally under top board. National Water and Sewage Corporation of Uganda, do you know it? Has been winning best water utility in Africa for the last 15 years, every 12 years or 13 years. They have been winning every year. Not only that, they are being consulted by Switzerland, by Canada, by other developed countries are consulting national water here. It is under Museveni. Look at national NSSF. 10 years ago, NSSF total assets was 5 trillion. By end of last year, it was 25 trillion. They have grown 500% in just a period of 10 years. Where do you see that? We're a small economy in East Africa. We have the largest pension fund in the region. And one of the best in Africa, if not the best. I think we are number 2. I have seen some rankings. You look at the Post Bank, which now is Pearl Bank. The government never even capitalized it. But they were able to build competence and run a very successful government-run enterprise.
Okay.
Or Housing Finance Bank. So it's possible for government of Uganda, my grandson, to run a successful airline. But for them to run it, it would require that the managers there who are hired are competent and it's protected.